Yes, I know what the title says. I'm not going yet. I'll make sure that everybody knows when I am going. But really, the buzz cut that I'll have at the time would probably explain itself. So, recently, military service in Korea, the mandatory military service in Korea has been the hot topic issue, both within Korea and outside of Korea. Uh, it's been a huge issue in Korea because recently, our soccer team won the gold medal in the Asian Games, which is this big sports event where only Asian countries can compete in. And because they won the gold medal, apparently there's this random rule that says if they win the gold medal in the Asian Games, the the players who haven't served in the military yet are relieved of that burden. So because now they've won, some of them don't need to go. And I guess the reason behind this little law, this rule, is because by winning the gold medal, we're showing the world how good we are, and these players sort of helped us get to that point in culture. They're representing us, and they're making us proud. But the reality is, nobody really knows about. Recently, obviously, in the World Cup, we beat Germany, so that was. I feel like because of that, some people in the world might know about our soccer team, but most of the world, don't really care about Korean soccer or the Korean soccer team. Only Korea cares about it, and probably Germany and maybe Brazil. But Mexico, not Brazil, Mexico. And it's been a hot topic issue outside the country because there's this little group that you might have heard, maybe you might have not heard of them, but there's this little group called BTS, 방탄소년단, and they have recently just broken record after record when it comes to Asian boy bands. I think last week they had the #1 album in America, which is crazy. And basically people are saying, well, if those soccer players are relieved of going to the military because they represent the country or whatnot, why not the members of BTS? They're clearly more popular. They're clearly representing the culture more than these soccer players. Most people are more aware of them, so why not them? So recently it's been a hot topic issue because I guess they're leaning towards deciding on getting rid of that mandatory military service relief law thing. And most people are actually getting really interested in the Korean mandatory military service. And as a man who's from Korea and who is probably going to be serving in the military in the next 3-4 years or so, I just kind of want to explain the whole willy-nilly, the whole shebang of that system. So, I'll be honest, this whole mandatory military service thing, it's always been a huge annoyance in my life when it comes to my plans in life. Like, in my mind, my 20s and my 30s is gonna be like, I'll be going out into the world, I'll play music, I'll make films, I'll meet like-minded people, I'll get laid, I'll eat amazing food, I'll start a vinyl collection, I'll meet somebody, and then I'll lead a happy life doing the things I love for a living, or just for as hobbies. And I'll die with my family around me. My daughter will be crying, and my son, will be holding back his tears, but inside he's, crying up a storm. And my lover will be right next to me, trying to comfort me as I listen to a Leonard Cohen album as my vision fades away. But before all that happens, I need to go and serve in the military. And just because of that, my fantasy kind of crumbles down. So if we're getting into the details, this is what's going on. So at this point in time, all the men in Korea are supposed to serve in the military for 20 months. 20 months. Now, some of you privileged non-Korean men might be saying, wow, that's a long-ass time, man. I feel so bad for you, man. I mean, you spend all your teenage years studying your ass off. not getting laid, not doing anything fun, and now you've entered your 20s and suddenly you need to serve in the military for 20 months even though you don't really care about the military, that sucks. And it kinda is. It is in fact a very long time, and you can do so much in 20 months. You can learn a new language, you can learn an instrument, you can watch, I don't know how many movies. That's such a long time to just throw away, even when, especially when you don't really want to throw it away. But whenever I tell my dad about this, my dad's always like, "Oh, stop whining, you little bitch. Stop whining, because that's nothing. When I was in the military, I had to serve for 3 years, and that is true. Back in the 80s, it was not 20 months, it was 36 months. So it's kind of hard for me to like say anything back to my dad. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it's better than 36 months. Maybe this is why Koreans are so group-minded. You know, we all experience the same pain. And it's not even practical if you think about it, because most wars now are fought with bombs and, you know, nuclear weapons. It's less, you know, soldiers are usually used for like very intimate, you know, missions and whatnot, not for big wars. You know, there's way too much casualty there, and we all the leaders in the world know this. But yet, we still have the service, we still have the system, and we need to head on. So all the details here. Now, there are ways to avoid, you know, serving in the military, like mandatorily serving in the military, and not just by, you know, winning a gold medal in the Asian Games. Now, usually, if you do any of this, most people, especially in Korea, don't really look at you in a kindly manner. Most people start looking at you like you betrayed your country, and you know, when everybody's doing it and when you're trying to avoid it, that might kind of look bad. I can see why. So these are the kind of the obvious ones of when it comes to avoiding, you know, serving the military. The first obvious one would be having a physical disability. I had a friend who basically had a backbone of a 60-year-old man, and he can barely sit without like feeling pain. So he's probably not going to serve in the military. So, you know, when you're on that level or more, you don't need to serve in the military. At that point, you're probably going to be sent to like a local, I don't know, maybe like an office space to just do some internship for a while, you know, because you're serving the country in a way like that. And the second obvious way to avoid is to have a mental disability or an illness. And for a while, if you know my personal history, that was the one I was trying to go for. But then I learned that avoiding military service by having a mental disability gets you a permanent record and kind of hinders your future when it comes to getting a job and whatnot. And considering that I might not get to be a musician or a film director, and I just might have to get a normal job, this is kind of a scary thing for me, so yeah. I can't really do that, but there are actually people who cannot function normally in any way, shape, or form in a pressured environment. So yeah, so those people can avoid military service in that way. And the third obvious one is, you know, if you're really like morbidly obese. And recently there have been like instances where some guys tried to get fat within 3 weeks to avoid military service, and they all got caught, and I think they're all in jail now. I don't know. It's very strict here. Now here are the not so obvious ones though. Obviously, if you're a soccer player or whatnot, you get to have a pass when you get the gold medal. That's the non-obvious one. The second non-obvious one is, and even though it makes sense, is to marry somebody who's not Korean and sort of assume that person's nationality. Now, obviously, I'm 20 years old. I can technically marry somebody. But marrying somebody outside of not just outside my country, but outside my culture, at 20 years old, that's way too much. So, I can't really do that just for my sake. Like, I got at least a solid decade ahead of me. At least a solid decade. I'm not sure what's going to happen in my 30s, but at least a decade. So, marrying my youth away already? Not sure about it. Shout out to all the people who got married at 20. And also, I think it's illegal to, like, go to another country just to marry that person. So, yeah, I don't want to be a fugitive. And, like I said, I'm 20. I don't want to... That's just way too much, man. That's way too much. And I think there's, like, a way for you to... I think there's this thing where if you pull out, like, a certain amount of teeth, it's okay to not go to the military, which is just weird. I'm not sure if that's still a thing. It used to be a thing. Now, if you're ending up going to the military, and you know, if you're not able to avoid the military service through all these means, there are ways to lessen the pain, or at least lessen the amount of physical labor that you're going to be doing in the military. Now, if you have a special ability that comes with special benefits. Now, let's say that if you're a musician, you get to go into the military band, so there's less physical stuff. You'll be actually, you know, mostly practicing with the band than, you know, going out and learning how to shoot a gun or whatever. You can be like a medical student, then you'll be a military doctor, and you'll take care of people who were hurt doing all the physical activity. But in my case, if you're really good at English, you can be a military translator. And because, as we all know, or maybe not, maybe some of you might not know, America and Korea are allies when it comes to military forces. Because in the Korean War, the U.S. helped out South Korea. So sometimes, or actually all the time, there are a bunch of American troops coming to Korean bases. And obviously, most American troops are probably not fluent in Korean. And that's when I come in and say, you know what, I know your culture, man. I can do the talkity talk, and I can translate everything. Because here's the thing, like, right now I'm talking in English, in English. Maybe I'm not so good after all. But right now I'm talking in English. And then 이렇게 한국말로 말할 수도 있고, 이렇게 지금 어색하게 들릴 수도 있지만, 근데 물론 보는 사람들이 다 지금 한국인들이 아닐 수도 있으니까 그럴 수도 있겠는데요. 이렇게 한국말로 말하다가 전 영어로도 이렇게 통역할 줄 알거든요. 그러니까 boy, that sounds awkward. Like I was just going off. Like Korean's my first language. For some reason, I just sound awkward. I'm gonna try again. Like right now, I'm speaking English, and then 이렇게 한국말로 전환할 수도 있고, 이렇게 어쩌고저쩌고 거리다가 이렇게 통역 좀 해주고 있다가 왔다 갔다 해주면서 이렇게 문서도 작성해주면서, 그리고 혹시라도 저한테 와서 뭐라도 여쭤볼 게 있으면 그때 I can turn back to English like that. So I feel like I can do it. I think I'm qualified. But the thing is, there's got to be a bunch of people in Korea who can talk, like, who are as fluent in English as me. So I'm not sure. But, you know, considering my level of fluency, I think I can get the job. So if you're an American troop, just in case, maybe you are, or maybe you're an American guy who's thinking of serving in the military, and maybe you might end up in a Korean base. You might get to meet me. And I'm just gonna tell you right here, right now, man, do not fuck with me. Anyways, I don't know, maybe... So that's basically everything I know about the mandatory military service. I feel like it's more about me at this point in the video. I'm sure it won't be as painful and as restricting as I've heard. You know, you're basically getting to, like... You're basically getting paid to work out, which is great. And with the right mindset, maybe I'll turn into One Punch Man. And, you know, maybe it'll feel less like the country draining away my youth and, you know, reinforcing the doom of war, and by pushing us into its remaining programs. Yeah. It's late right now. I need to go to sleep. Bye.